Solo Leveling didn't just rise, it dominated. From a humble web novel to a record-breaking manhwa, and now one of the most hyped anime of the decade, Solo Leveling's journey needs to be studied. So that's exactly what you and I will be doing today. In this video, we'll dive deep into the success of Solo Leveling, from its creation all the way till its anime adaptation. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly why Solo Leveling dominates. Solo Leveling started as a South Korean web novel by Chu Gong, first released in 2016. The story centers around Sung Jin-woo. He's a hunter who's basically a noob. Jin-woo is an E rank hunter, which is the lowest possible rank that you can get. But still, he has no other career options. He's got a sick mother and a younger sister at home he needs to look after. So off Jin-woo goes, continuing on his dangerous journey. A journey that will eventually transform him into the world's strongest hunter. And also a frickin' sex bomb. God damn. Look at this man. Okay, for those of you who don't know, let me bring you up to speed. Jin-woo, our MC, is faced with a life-threatening situation in a dangerous dungeon. As the team gets towards the end of this dungeon, something doesn't feel quite right. Now, Jin-woo is perceptive, but unfortunately, he's too weak to stop what comes next. People start dying everywhere. Something is wrong with this dungeon, and in the end, everyone leaves Jin-woo, the E-ranked hunter, alone to die. But in an unexpected twist, after surviving what should have been a fatal encounter, he finds himself the new holder of an extraordinary power. He is chosen by a mysterious system that gives him the ability to level up and become stronger. This power is much like an MMO leveling system. He can complete quests, and every monster he kills he gets loot and experience for. And let me just say this system makes him insanely strong. However, as overpowered as this new ability is, it still comes with its own set of challenges. Sounds pretty dope, huh? It's a simple but insanely effective storytelling method. You've got the weakest guy becoming the strongest through sheer determination, power leveling, and of course, a little bit of broken game mechanics. People, including myself, eat this shit up. Honestly, no wonder it's a success, right? Well, to my surprise, what if I told you that even the creator had his doubts? Even he was in disbelief of its popularity. In a press release, Chu Gong, the author of Solo Leveling, said this: "About 6 years ago, when I was writing the very beginning of Solo Leveling, if someone had said to me, the novel you wrote will become a comic, I bet I would have told them, stop pulling my leg. But now, I'm told my show is going to be animated? Seriously, stop pulling my leg." But these days, I'm feeling excited and thrilled. Now, after hearing all of this, I thought, how can someone who didn't believe in his own work make something so game-changing? And what makes Solo Leveling so good that it has made millions of dollars and forced people worldwide to copy and analyze its formula? What is it about this series that makes it so impactful? Well, I'll give you a hint. One part of the show that makes it so addicting is its use of an underdog story. Solo Leveling at its core establishes a classic underdog story. We've got Jin-woo, an ordinary person with little talent in a world dominated by strength. The audience will usually always connect with the idea of a character who is overlooked and underestimated. Therefore, it sets the stage for Jin-woo's transformation into something far greater. And what a transformation he's had, god damn. But to be honest with you, being an underdog isn't the only thing that will make your story an all-time great. I mean, look at every action anime out there. They all have underdog characters who want to defy the odds and achieve their goals. But it's got to be something more than that. Okay, think back for a second. Remember in that first episode of Solo Leveling? Jin-woo was there. He's left for dead. He's there with that hellish, blue, smiling statue. He's alone. He's powerless. And we feel the same fear of our main character. We feel the sinister evil that comes from the dungeon boss. These feelings right here, they help foreshadow and shape what this anime's world will be like moving forward. And that is the next major contributor to Solo Leveling's success. World building. In the world of solo leveling, mysterious gates have started opening up across the planet. These gates are portals to dungeons, and these dungeons are filled with freaky ass monsters. The dungeons are ranked like they would be in a video game, starting from easy to difficult. But even the easy dungeons hold monsters that can annihilate everyday people. To combat this threat, some humans awaken supernatural abilities that turn them into hunters. But unfortunately, most hunters are still painfully weak compared to the horrors that are lurking in most dungeons. This setting and this world creates a demand for higher ranked hunters. These hunters need to step forth and be the saviors who protect everyone. But alongside these higher ranked hunters, we learn something even more important. The world building of solo leveling is not just addicting because of its scary dungeon monsters. What's addicting and truly scary is the monsters outside of them. You know what? The hunters in solo leveling aren't all good people striving for world peace and protection. That's just not the case. And some of these darker characters really help show and reflect the grim reality of the world that they live in. The weak in this series are useless, and the strong, they can do whatever they please. Whether it be mutiny or murder, the strong will get away with whatever they want. We see this in the series when a S-rank hunter flexes on everyone.
I'm human. I want to go home.
Now, Jinwoo is the character who we see transform the most in solo leveling. No shit, he's the main character. But it's not just him getting stronger that makes him a great, lovable character. What makes him a great character is also about the experiences he has and how they mold him into something far more ruthless, even potentially inhuman. Here, I'll break it down piece by piece. At the start, Jinwoo is the textbook definition of weak. He's an E-rank hunter, the lowest possible classification, and he is barely able to fight goblins and sustain himself. But in the double dungeon, something goes wrong. Jinwoo is forced to watch as his comrades are torn apart, crushed, or incinerated. He himself barely survives by obeying the temple's rules, and even then, he is mutilated. When Jinwoo awakens with the ability to level up, he's given the chance that no one else has. His first real taste of power comes when he slaughters a dungeon full of wolves alone. The thrill of being stronger than his enemies is intoxicating, and this is the first time he has ever felt that. He starts training obsessively, pushing his body and mind to the limits every single day. But all of a sudden, he becomes far less trusting of others. He is wary of how people might react if they find out about this new ability. At first, his motivations seem simple. Get stronger, protect his family, and survive. But as Jinwoo's power grows, so does his mentality. He starts seeing his enemies not as threats, but more so as opportunities. And this is where Jinwoo stops holding back. No longer will he hesitate to kill. And I'm not just talking about monsters. Even people can get it. When a group of hunters lures him into a dungeon to assassinate him, he doesn't panic, and he decides, fuck it, I'll hunt you instead. He doesn't just kill them though, he toys with them, savoring the fear they feel before he executes them. It's at this time we see a shift in the kind-natured boy of the past. Jinwoo as a character slowly starts slipping away from his human side. The weak Jinwoo who was once mocked and belittled, he's gone. Now when people look at our main character, they are the ones who feel powerless. Jinwoo no longer needs to fight for survival. He fights because he is now the apex predator in this world. And as I said, Jinwoo's new transformation isn't just about strength, it's about his mentality. He has gone from prey to predator, and he now walks the line between humanity and something far darker. And that's why Jinwoo's journey is not just about gaining strength, it's about the parts of himself that he loses along the way. The whole character arc for Jinwoo is a compelling transformation. Yes, he does get everything that he ever wanted, but all of this comes with the cost of being the person he once was. Now, of course, all of this doesn't just happen right away, and that's where pacing comes into things. Solo leveling nails its pacing in a way that keeps watchers and readers hooked from start to finish. Yes, the story does move fast, yet it doesn't feel rushed. To be able to do this and constantly build tension while delivering satisfying payoffs is an extremely hard thing to do. Here, let me tell you why solo leveling's pacing is so effective. One of solo leveling's biggest strengths is that it never lingers too long on unnecessary details. Every chapter either advances Jinwoo's strength through new power-ups, new abilities, or bigger enemies, or it introduces new threats or mysteries that push the story forward. It also makes sure to deliver a major moment, whether it be badass fights, shocking twists, or brutal betrayals. And on top of all that, there is no filler. I repeat, none. No filler. To the point where you'll get an episode where they talk and people are like, well, where's all the action? Oh, the solo leveling fell off. Every dungeon, every fight, every interaction serves a purpose. To the point where even downtime chapters are used to foreshadow future conflicts or expand the world building. Personally, I think this story's pacing works so well because of how it handles Jinwoo's growth. Instead of overwhelming us with instant god tier strength like some isekai, solo leveling carefully escalates his power in a way that feels natural, even though he can usually beat everyone's ass. We see this throughout the series because early on we see Jinwoo struggle. In the middle, he's suddenly outgrowing all the hunters, and in the late story, he's nearly an unstoppable force. This smooth progression really keeps everything exciting for the viewer. I mean, there's never really a time where Jinwoo isn't getting stronger or waiting for a bigger enemy to show up. One thing solo leveling does well, and it shits me to bits every single weekend, is cliffhangers. Almost every episode in solo leveling ends with this hook moment that makes you desperate to see the next one. Every week I'm left sitting there like, oh, that was a good episode, but I have to wait another week. How do they do this? A monster about to attack? Cut to black. A shocking reveal about the system. Sorry, we're edging you out here. A massive power-up on the way? Suck shit, life waiting until next week will be torturous. This constant teasing keeps the momentum going. The way they do this is by never giving you everything at once. Just think about in life, is anything fun when it's just given to you at once? At first it might seem like it, but then after a day or two or a week, you're like, I'm bored. That's why solo leveling keeps drip feeding you hype. It makes you watch every episode and it has you hooked on every single chapter. This makes every moment feel like a must binge. Okay, think of some other well-known power fantasy stories. Most of them get stuck in this repetitive loop. Fight, train, repeat. And that formula did used to work, but solo leveling is keeping things varied. Early on, dungeons are about survival. Mid-story, we have conflicts about rising in rank and dealing with corrupt hunters. And in later conflicts, it's more about endgame bosses and global threats. They do this well, and every single phase of solo leveling has a different tone and a different goal set. They do this so it never feels like you're consuming the same arc twice. Now, the final piece and the last part that makes the pacing work is the power dynamic. The power of Jinwoo, although overpowered, still feels earned, not gifted. The big reason solo leveling's pacing works is because it lets Jinwoo struggle before he wins. Nothing in life is fun unless you work for it. And as I said, Jinwoo doesn't start overpowered. His growth is gradual and satisfying. Now, all this isn't without adversity. He still faces moments of doubt, exhaustion, and overwhelming odds. And even towards the end, when he's incredibly strong, he still fights threats that push him to his limits. This is what makes everyone love solo leveling. You know, except for the loser crybabies who just want to complain about every popular anime. I believe for this story, in its category, moves at the perfect speed. Never too slow, never too rushed. It keeps the tension high, it delivers non-stop payoffs, and it constantly escalates the stakes while keeping things fresh. But do you know what really ties together all of the things we've discussed so far? This is the one thing that all successful shows have in common. You already know what it is. That's right. Fan service. Animation and music. The solo leveling anime so far has been absolute cinema. The animation and the music elevate the story's already hype-fueled, adrenaline-pumping nature. And I mean, come on, listen to this. Alright, let's first touch on the animation. A1 Pictures, the studio behind Fate, Sword Art Online, and 86, was the perfect choice for solo leveling. Their signature style, sharp character designs, and dynamic fight sequences perfectly bring to life Solo Leveling's power fantasy world. The animation uses speed, weight, and camera movement to make every punch, slash, and dodge feel intense. I noticed that A1 Pictures also tend to use a lot of particle effects, whether it be the glowing eyes, the swirling shadows, or the explosions of mana. Everything is felt and everything is explosive. Alongside this, the use of cinematic angles and motion blur is also very notable. The anime doesn't just showcase flat, boring fights. And honestly, as animation gets better, we are truly blessed. We get these amazing god tier fight scenes, and then we still get people who are like, this is boring. The music of Solo Leveling adds an insane amount of depth and atmosphere to all crucial scenes. If you've ever seen Attack on Titan, Kill la Kill, or 86, you already know that Hiroyuki Sawano is a beast when it comes to anime soundtracks. He doesn't just make music, he makes war battle cries, and after hearing the music, he leaves you wanting to ride a donkey into battle listening to it. Now, I'm gonna be real, I don't know much about music, but I know the mix of guitars, drums, and vocals has me feeling heavenly after every fight scene. Whenever Jinwoo fights and dominates, and the music kicks in hard, I feel like I'm dominating, and it makes every victory he achieves feel legendary. Now, unlike generic heroic music, Solo Leveling's OST has a kind of menacing edge to it. We see the opening song Level is explosive, it's dramatic, and it perfectly sets the tone for the start of the anime. And to be honest, I think it's actually illegal to skip this. Just letting you know, you're not allowed to skip it before each episode. Now think of the ending song Request. This is more of a haunting track. It's reflecting Jinwoo's loneliness and relentless path towards power. I feel the contrast between the opening and the ending really starts off and finishes the anime perfectly. Basically, to tie the two together, Solo Leveling delivers peak animation, peak music, peak hype, and it makes every episode feel like a power fantasy World of Warcraft fever dream come to life. And that is everything right there, tied together in a package. Let me know if I missed anything that you think adds to the popularity of this show. And while you're still here, don't forget to slap the shit out of the like and subscribe button. And of course, my anus. And I'll be seeing you very shortly. Wait, holy crap, what is this? Netflix and its secret plan for anime. You gotta click that. You gotta click it. Click it. Love you, bye.